All right. So good morning, everyone. I'm Gary Finneth, the Marketing Director here at Taylor Properties. Today we have a great webinar on Qualia Connect. And today we also have a couple other people that will be very important in terms of getting your clients to use you again for repeat business. But we also have Donna Downing. She's the title manager over at Heritage Title. And we have Kristen Hagee, a senior title processor. In addition to them, we also have Toomey. He's our client success manager over at Qualia, and he's really responsible for ensuring that our experiences and our clients' experiences are the best that they can be using this new platform that we have. So with that said, I'm going to hand it over to Toomey to get started. And then if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the chat. If for any reason you need to drop off this meeting, this is also being recorded, and we'll upload this webinar onto our agent dashboard as well as our YouTube channel. And then if you haven't already, there's also a poll going on the side there. So if you'd like, go ahead and answer those questions to the polls, and then we can get started now.
Thank you, Gary. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tumishe Oki, but as Gary said, you can call me Toomey. And yeah, I'm a customer success manager here at Qualia. I work with over 200 title companies across the country. And really my job is to make sure that they understand how to use the platform and their clients understand how to utilize it as well. Because at the end of the day, I think we're all on the same team here in making sure that our real estate transactions are always a success, and making sure that buyers and sellers are happy and things are secure. That being said, Gary, would you mind stop sharing your screen and I can share this deck with everyone?
Yep.
All right, let's see here. Okay, and can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, like Gary said, today and the focus of you all being here today is really to understand what Qualia Connect is and how it works, not only for you, but also for your clients, because they will also be utilizing it to communicate securely with you and with the Heritage Title settlement team. So just to give you a little bit of context, this is really about your experience as the realtors. There are a few things that we want to highlight as we start this out. The one thing is this is an end-to-end user experience, meaning that with Qualia Connect, you can really start off the transaction from the quoting and move that to the ordering and all the way to the closing of the transaction. And you can see a few screenshots here. This one shows what the view looks like. And if you all have ever ordered pizza from Domino's, you might be familiar with the pizza tracker. And Qualia has utilized that same thing because we find it gives not only the buyers and sellers, but you as the realtors, just a quick visual glance as to how the transaction is progressing. Some other things that are a big part of the benefits to your experience with Qualia Connect are secure document storage. Previously, some people were using, like DocHub or Dropbox to store documents, but with Qualia Connect, any documents that the Heritage team is working on, they can securely share to you through Qualia Connect. Same thing with your buyers and sellers, and it stays there for perpetuity, meaning as long as the internet exists, you will have access to those documents. And same thing for the communication. I know fraud is very prevalent in our industry, and more so in the last year with all of us, having to go to a remote working situation. So we want all business email correspondence to be moved to Qualia Connect, because that's really where the threat of fraud begins, is these hackers are able to access your work email. And then from there, they can duplicate how you write, duplicate the wire instructions formatting, and really attempt to take away your buyers and sellers' life savings. And lastly, yeah, you're able to get updates on the closing at any time of day. You don't have to call the Heritage Title team. You don't have to email. You can simply log on to your Connect account and you can view what has been completed so far. You can see what documents have been shared with you. And if you do have a question, you're able to click the individual's name and shoot them a quick message that way. And before we get too further into this, I would love for Kristen, if you could just explain a little bit why you all chose to switch over to Qualia and what your goals with Qualia are for the year.
Hi, thanks, Sumi. So mainly we were worried about the security, especially with the wire instructions. Specifically, we were using the cloud server for TSS, and we found that it was pretty easy for hackers to get into our email and reproduce fraudulent wire instructions. So by sending it through the messaging system through Qualia, that's been a lot better and a lot safer. There's also the built-in reminders for agents and loan officers. So once we put in their information in the actual Qualia system, there's no nagging in the back of my mind anymore of like, I still need this, I still need this, I need to email them, or I need to give them a call. Qualia does that for me. So it's a lot more consistent with reminders. So if they don't complete it, you know, I think it's sent in like 7 days, Donna, I think it was. Yeah, like every 7 days, if they're not completing it, it sends out an automatic reminder like, hey, just to let you know, Heritage Title still needs some information from you. You know, it takes 2 minutes to complete. And there's also the quote producing and online ordering, which is awesome. So that's something that's an instant quote that agents and loan officers can get through the Heritage Title website and Qualia website.
Yeah, thank you, Kristen. And that all three of those points that you made are really key, and it's what I hear probably most often, and that's the security one, because it's painful if you're involved in a transaction and the buyer, has their whole savings, dedicated to that transaction, and due to poor business email correspondence, they lose all of that money. We have the technology now to avoid all of that completely and completely, mitigate that risk. And so that's why really you see us harking on the security piece so much, because, buying a house is probably one of the biggest transactions that any person will ever engage in. So we want to make sure that transaction is as secure as possible. And the first way we do that is by making sure all correspondence about the settlement is through a secure portal. And in this case, it's Qualia Connect.
Hey, Toomey?
Yes.
I think there's a little bit of feedback coming from your mic rubbing against your sweater.
Oh, sorry about that. Is this any better?
Yeah, that's better, because I think it's
okay
against your zipper or something.
Okay, thank you for the feedback. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so jumping in here, and if anything ever happens to my audio, just let me know. So getting started, we want to walk you all through what the process is of using Qualia Connect and what you can expect. I think in the poll, about 8 out of 12 of you said that you have never used Qualia Connect before. So I'm just going to spend a little bit of time on this slide, so you all understand it. So the first thing you will notice when you receive an order, or when you place an order with Heritage Title, is you will get this first email here on the left that has the access your closing. It's going to come from notifications@qualia.com. So do not be alarmed when you see emails from the @qualia.com domain. That domain is standard for all companies that are using Qualia. So if you work with another title or settlement company that's using Qualia, you'll receive a similar email for any transactions that you are provided access to as well. This email will have some instructions that the Heritage Title team has inputted. I advise you to read them carefully, because it will guide you through what you can expect for the entire settlement process. Once you go ahead and click this access your closing link, you'll be redirected in a new tab to connect.qualia.com. And so that URL is what we call your Connect portal. And it's the same URL for your buyers, for the sellers, For anyone that is using Qualia Connect, they'll go to connect.qualia.com. Once you create your password, you'll have a modal that appears, which allows you to input your work phone and your cell phone, because we want to encourage you to turn on two-factor authentication, which if you've used any mobile technology, you're probably familiar with, getting a code that you need to, input either for your bank account or for something else. So same thing here, it's just, an additional layer of security for protecting not only yourself, but your clients and partners that you're working with. And fun fact, it does take less than 2 minutes to set up your account. I've done a couple of these sessions with Gary, and we've created a few accounts to help in that process. And from receiving that email to clicking the link to creating my account, yeah, it's pretty quick. And so want to talk about what you will see first once you open your Connect account or you log in on any occasion. There are two views which you will encounter. You can see we have the mobile view. So if you have iOS, an iPhone, or if you have an Android, you're able to go into the App Store or the Play Store and search for the Qualia Connect app and get that downloaded, because you all are always on the go. So it helps to have the communication tool handy. That way you can send messages or share documents, get quotes, whatever the case may be. But once you log in, the first thing you'll see is what you refer to as your closings dashboard. So this is just a broad view of all of your orders that you are involved in, the property address, the type of order, and the settlement agency you're working with. So for some realtors, they only work with one settlement agency. So for some of you, you may only be working with Heritage, so you only see Heritage orders here. But for some other of you, if you work with other settlement agencies or title companies, you may have additional orders from other title companies here. So this will be where everything is sort of gathered and housed, and you're able to click into each one to see updates, to communicate with the team, or just to find out what's going on. Some buttons that I want to highlight over on the right-hand side here are the get a quote and place a title order. So no longer are you having to make a phone call to the Heritage Title team or shoot them an email requesting a rate quote or giving them the necessary details for an order. You're able to do that completely on your own by accessing your Connect portal and clicking either button. And both of these are automatically sent to the Heritage Title production environment, which they can look at the quote or look at the order and immediately begin their processing work on it.
Hey, Timmy, just a heads up, your mic's rubbing a little bit again.
Thank you for that, Gary. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so talking about title quotes and net sheets, just wanted to give you guys a visual example of what this will look like. So if you were to click the get a quote button, this will be this screenshot here that says get seller net sheet. This is what it looks like. So you can see it's a pretty quick 5-step process. The first one being adding the property and the property details. So transaction details, sorry. Next will be selecting your provider and then configuring the fees. It's a similar flow for placing a title order, but that one is a little bit more involved because now you can share some details about the property and about the transaction with the title company. So you can provide the borrower's name, seller's name, all of that jazz. And now looking at the Qualia mobile app, I know we touched on this briefly, but I can't hark on this enough because again, it's rare that you all are in the office for 8 hours or 9 hours a day. So having the app on your mobile device will help if you need to respond to a message while you're at a showing, or you need to place an order while you're at a showing, or something along those lines. This just gives you greater flexibility when you think about how you're handling your own business operations. You don't have to be tied to a server and like on an on-premise server to have all this data. Everything is stored in the cloud. All you need is a stable internet connection. All right, and before we get into this, any questions here so far? Just want to take a look at the chat. Okay, so nothing so far. I'll take that as a no. So there was a second poll question that, has anyone ever accounted fraud during a transaction? And that one was about split about halfway. And, the reason we want to talk about your client's experience is because they need to understand the importance of using a secure portal for their purchase transaction or their sale transaction. So with the client's portal, again, it's the same URL, connect.qualia.com, the same bones, right? So you can see that, from a structural standpoint, it looks very similar to the realtor's closing dashboard. The main difference with buyer's or seller's view is one, it's obviously going to be a green banner here, but it's also going to just have the main tabs that they need to be aware of. So there's the overview tab, which has the Domino's Pizza Tracker view well, showing all of the stages of the transaction. If they were to click this detailed info, it explains what happens in each stage. So it's educating the buyers and sellers a little bit. Over here on the right, this is where they can see all of the transaction parties. Something to note about this is that the settlement team controls who has access to the transaction on Qualia Connect. So if there's ever an additional individual that needs to be added to the transaction for whatever reason, you would want to contact Heritage Title first about that so they can add that person to the transaction. And for any questions about the transaction, it will really be best if you direct those to Heritage Title. The next tab that you see here up at the top is the Tasks tab. This is probably one of the biggest ones that your buyers and sellers will be using, because this is how the Heritage Title team will request and collect information. So for example, there's a confirm personal information request, which is about a 4-minute form. It looks more like a questionnaire that your buyers and sellers will have to fill out their name, their social security, their cell phone, if they have a forwarding address, things like that. Once they submit, all of that data is automatically pushed to the Heritage Title's production environment. So we don't have to print out anything. We don't have to email anything. We don't have to make a phone call. That's the whole idea, right? Even though the technology is there to make this all streamlined, it's also there to protect all of the secure information, because we don't want the social security number going via email or via fax. That's just not very secure. So this way, it's only going to be the Heritage Title team, and only the people who have permission to see such information will be allowed to have access to that.
Hey, Toomey, real quick.
Yeah.
Question in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
What type of encryption, but yeah, what is the strength of the encryption and security?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So just want to go back here to this slide here. So we have the highest encryption certification. So we have ISO 27007 and also SOC 2. No other secure portal has both of these certifications. Qualia is the only one. If you're wanting more information about Qualia security, you can go to qualia.com, and we have our security white paper there that you can read if you want to learn more about our protocols. Our product and engineering team do regular audits on all of our storage and protocols to make sure that, again, your buyers, sellers, all of us are protected as possible. Does that answer your question? And just to reiterate, and thank you, Gary, for posting that here. This is completely different from email, right? Email is not very secure, and unless you have an encrypted email server, that's the only way. This is invitation only portal. So unless your email has been registered with the transaction in Qualia, then that's the only way you can have access to any of the information relating to the transaction. That's why we hark, putting everything into this portal as not only the source of truth and system of record, but also as a way to keep bad actors out. Okay, so yes, going back to your client's experience, We talked about tasks and information requests. You will also receive some information requests. So for example, there's a confirm commission information request. So this is where the heritage title will send to you, asking you to confirm what the commission structure is for the transaction. There's some others that you can expect to receive. For example, at the end of the closing, the heritage title team will send you a post-closing survey, which is just requesting your feedback on the transaction, so you're able to give them a rating and comments, and shout out anyone on the settlement team that was super helpful to you and your clients throughout the transaction. So in the inbox tab, as the name states, that's where all messaging occurs. So all outgoing and incoming messages will be housed here. Documents tab, same thing. You can upload documents from your desktop or from your laptop and share that with the heritage title team. Any documents that they share with you will also be housed here. And lastly, the activity. This is not super important for the buyers and sellers, but this is where they can see just sort of a tracking of everything that has happened with the transaction thus far. Two other sections that I want to touch on, because they also apply to you all as well in your Connect view, are this bell icon here at the top and your name. So this bell icon is your notifications. So anytime you receive a new message, a new information request, or a new task, this is where you will be notified, right? And if you click your name in the top right of your Connect portal, that's where you're able to access your user settings. If you ever need to change your name, your password, your cell phone, if you need to change the number associated with your two-factor authentication, you can do that in your user settings as well. So we talked a little bit about information collection. Wanted to show you guys what the view looks like. So you can see here, the first image present up front is the confirm your commission information. So this one is one that relates the most to you all, right? So you can see how it has the fields of the close date, the purchase price, who the commission is paid by. The great thing about Qualia Connect that we get a lot of feedback from is it's very intuitive and responsive. So as you are filling out information, if it's required information that still needs your input, it will alert you with the red text or a little notification that says, hey, you still need to complete this information before you can submit, right? You can see this second screenshot here. It will show you a progress bar of your task completion. So it will say 3 out of 4 tasks completed, or 1 out of 4 tasks completed, that kind of thing, just to sort of let you know how you're moving along. And so by completing your task this way, and again, you can do this on the go. So you don't have to be in front of a laptop or connected to an Ethernet to be able to access this. As long as you have Wi-Fi and you have the app on your phone, you can submit all of these requests back to the heritage title team, because a lot of times before they can get started on their work, they're needing a lot of this information completed. So you can do this on the go, really any time of day. And wanted to show what the inbox also looks like. Same thing, you can do this from the mobile app on the go, as long as you have a Wi-Fi connection. All messages are sent securely, and it's only shared with the people who have access to the transaction, right? And so if you're thinking about again, fraud and business email compromise, that is not possible, because a hacker cannot hack your Connect account. And reason being is really 2 ways, because if they attempted to access your Connect account, one, you'll be notified that someone is trying to access your account because you received that two-factor authentication code. So that's why we strongly recommend turning that on, because if anyone ever tries to input your email and try to input your password, they'll have to have access to your cell phone to get that code before they can actually get access to the portal. So big reason to turn that on. But yeah, all messages are sent securely. And again, Qualia is SOC 2 and ISO 27001 certified. So all data is of the highest security here. And again, as long as the internet exists and as long as not only you guys, but as long as your buyers and sellers remember the email that they used to sign up with their Connect account, they can always access the data about this transaction. So all the messages, all the documents, everything. And so talking about documents, there are a few items that will happen here. One is just a standard sharing back and forth of documents. So you will share and receive documents from the document section, of course, but also for e-signing. So there may be instances where, we require a seller signature on something. That will appear as a task for the seller. So they'll be notified that, hey, the Heritage Title team requires you to complete this task, which is for them to create a signature and to sign a document. Once they complete that task of e-signing the document, it will be saved here as an e-signed document. So that's just something to note. And also with any of these documents, these can be downloaded and viewed on your mobile device or on your desktop. But these are stored in the cloud for forever. So you never have to worry about losing these documents, or if you're curious, what is this document? How can I find this document? You don't have to call Qualia. You don't have to call Heritage Title. Just log into your Connect account. Or if you don't remember your password, you forgot your password, go to the documents and you should be able to find everything that was shared with you there. Yeah, and so you can see here, documents and messages can be accessed after the closing. So you can reference all your historical closings. And there's not a time period. It's really, as long as the internet exists, you all will have access to all of this information. And so just recapping, we want you all to feel really comfortable and confident in not only using this for your day-to-day, but also explaining the benefits to your buyers and sellers. So at this time, if anyone has a question, feel free to just unmute yourself and shoot. And yeah, we'll take any questions that we have.
Any questions in the chat? So we'll take that as a good presentation, answer a lot of questions. So just to recap everything, Heritage Title, we really wanted to switch over to Qualia to improve the client experience in particular, but also for our own real estate agents here at Taylor Properties. We wanted to give them the best software to give you the best customer service as possible. So in addition to the software Qualia that we've implemented, we've also included some staff on our side, the Taylor Property side, to kind of be your concierge and middle person to get your orders in and kind of answer all your questions and kind of alleviate some of the pain points that you might have opening some orders. Her name's Kelsey Andrews. You might have received some calls from her recently, but if you've never met her before, Kelsey, just want to introduce yourself real quick?
Absolutely. Thank you, Gary. Hi, guys. My name is Kelsey, and I will be your liaison or your point of contact for any issues or any deals, anything that you want to put in an order for through Heritage Title. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to help you out. You can always contact me at the main office at 301-970-2447, or you can shoot me an email at kelsey@taylorprops at Outlook.
Thanks, Kelsey.
Thank you.
So with that said, if there's no other questions, I think we can let you guys go. Just as a reminder, this.
Hey, Gary, can I say something?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, hi guys. I'm Donna Downing. I'm the manager of Heritage Title, and I just want to give you my insight on this. I've been in title for 30 years, since 1991. I know I'm 25. Don't worry about it. And I can tell you when I started, that was back before we had all of the internet tomfoolery, if you want to call it. And Title Express was the big new thing, and it was fantastic. However, we have
the internet criminals, whatever you want to call them. It's all about internet security and safety and customer service. And if Heritage Title has nothing at the end of the day, it has to be customer service and security. It's a real threat. Qualia offers us the best opportunity with the two-factor authentication to provide that. We've seen it come into play already, and we are so pleased to be partnered with Qualia. And you know, as thieves evolve, the internet security evolves as well, and we are just so thankful for Qualia and for the fact that we can offer the best customer service out there in real time to our customers and to our agents. That's all I have.
Right on, Donna. Appreciate the input. And again, really, the reason for switching to Qualia was to give everyone involved the best experience possible. And obviously security is part of that as well. But if you guys have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to any of us. This webinar, again, is being recorded. It'll be on our YouTube channel as well as your agent inbox. So yeah, we'll let everyone go. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Gary.
Have a
Bye,
great day.
guys.